I know a lot of us are excited for E3, especially the Xbox conference, which is the most important conference at E3. But today I wanted to talk about my most anticipated games that will hopefully be shown at E3 this year, regardless of publisher or developer. These will be the top 10 games I believe everyone should keep an eye on when E3 comes rolling around in the next week. Because no matter what platform you prefer or no matter what publisher you prefer, we are all gamers at the end of the day. And we should always be excited for any type of game that we get excited for. It's why I made this video, so we can be excited as gamers about all these amazing games that will soon be in our hands. So let's dive into this list. But before I do, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. The support is greatly appreciated. But enough of that, let's start off with number 10, which is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Man oh man, has the Star Wars franchise been taking hits for a little while now. The criticism has been coming on all fronts: gaming, movies, shows, you name it, and Star Wars has missed the mark on pretty much every single one of them. But there's something positive cooking with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The game being made by Respawn Entertainment, the team that brought us Apex Legends and Titanfall. We know that this game is going to be a single-player, third-person action-adventure game that takes place after Episode 3 of the Star Wars universe. And while we've only seen a single CGI trailer, the game does carry a lot of weight behind it due to its name and how well the CGI trailer kept people intrigued. What we know is that you'll be Cal Kestis, a Jedi Padawan who is trying to evade the same fate that a lot of his Jedi friends met after Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. So let's hope there's force powers, lightsaber combat, and cool combat in general. The game is set to release November 15th, 2019, so expect to see a lot of cool footage and gameplay this coming E3. What stage it'll be on, since EA's not there, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure it'll either be on Xbox's stage or EA will just release gameplay trailers as the week goes on. Either way, I'm excited for it. Next up at number 9 is Doom Eternal. Doom was rebooted back in 2016 and is a game I feel a lot of people might have missed on. And if I'm being honest with you, I was one of those people. That was until the game released on Xbox Game Pass last August, which gave me the opportunity to play one of the best shooters I've played in years. Which brings us to Doom Eternal, which has been in development for a little while now and one of the few games that's confirmed for Google Stadia. But from what we've seen about Doom Eternal, we can say that it's going to be just as epic and gruesome as the first Doom. Not to mention all the cool guns they've shown and the cool enemy types. We've seen a bunch of gameplay that shows this game will be one of the best shooters to come out in a very long time. And experiencing Rage 2, Wolfenstein, and Doom is why this game is on this list. The shooting mechanics behind all those games are amazing, and the developers behind those games are going to be having great influence in this game considering that they're making it. So I'm extremely excited to see what Doom Eternal brings new to this franchise and also what it can do for the game in general. I hope they expand the story and make some gruesome, awesome killing mechanics. Now at number 8 we have Fable. Recently, I went back and watched a little footage and gameplay of Fable, which came out so long ago, and I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise, and I always said I hoped Playground Games wasn't working on a Fable game. But as time went on, I realized that Fable could turn into something extremely cool if they take the game in a new direction and use the power of the current and next-gen consoles. For a while now, Xbox has been missing a huge open world game that people can sink plenty of hours into. And for the first time in a little while, I have to say that Fable might actually be that game we've all been waiting for. As we know, Fable has been rumored to show up on the Xbox stage for a very long time, ever since last year on stage when Phil Spencer said Playground Games has been working on another project they will share with us a little later. So let's hope this year's E3 we are able to see what exactly they've been working on, which most likely is Fable. For me, I hope it's a spiritual reboot to the franchise so it can bring in new gamers that don't know about the franchise. And I hope they make the game extremely massive and have the controls and combat down pat. Here's to hoping that Xbox knocks this out of the park and that Playground Games is truly working on the next Fable. Moving on to number 7, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Ever since last year where CD Projekt Red interrupted Microsoft's conference with their reveal trailer of the highly anticipated Cyberpunk game, people have been clamoring for any type of news regarding the game. And when you consider these are the developers that gave us one of the best RPGs of all time in The Witcher 3, it's quite obvious that Cyberpunk 2077 is on a completely different hype level. Now, of course, they showed about 50 minutes of gameplay for everyone to enjoy a little while after last year's E3, but the developers said to look at this with expectations kept in check because it will not be what the finished product is going to look like. And there's been reports that the game will come out in 2019, but recently reports say the developer might be delaying the game till 2020 because they don't want to rush it out. Either way, I believe a lot of people will be just fine with the delay if it means that CD Projekt Red is given more time to polish this highly anticipated game. Not to mention, for me personally, I love the music in the first trailer. If they keep that kind of feel to the game, I think this will be a massive hit for them. But now let's move on to number 6, which is Suicide Squad by Rocksteady. Rocksteady is one of the best developers around. They made the Batman game trilogy, which is almost revered by many to be the best superhero games ever made. And there was a bunch of rumors last year hinting that they were working on a Superman game, and as last year's E3 came and went, there was no announcement of any kind to be seen around by them. And this year is looking no different except for the type of game they're making. The big rumor floating around is that Rocksteady is working on a DC property, and that property is Suicide Squad apparently. Now, of course, take this with a grain of salt, but that's what a lot of insiders have suggested. I believe that the Suicide Squad game is probably true because it can be a co-op game that will change the entire dynamic that we are all used to when it comes to Rocksteady games. Not to mention it will add a new form of connection with each character since you're able to see them in action with your friends. I hope this is real, and the scale at which the game is made is so grand and cool that it sets a path for a new DC franchise video game. Because as a big comic book lover and a big comic book gamer, I want to see more comic book characters brought to life in the games. I loved Spider-Man, I love the Batman games, and I honestly even love Injustice. I hope they really take this to a new level. But now we finally enter the top 5, and at number 5 we have the new Batman game. We all know that Rocksteady is not working on a new Batman game, which makes a lot of people sad that we won't see one from them, especially since the trilogy they did was so good and some of the best games to come out in a very long time. But what's great for gamers is that WB Montreal is rumored to be working on a Batman game. And the game is possibly something related to the Court of Owls storyline, which is a story from the New 52 comics written by Scott Snyder and is one of my personal favorite Batman stories of all time. You tie in one of their developers wearing a Court of Owls shirts that they posted on Twitter with a bunch of little hints, and you more than likely have a new Batman game right around the corner from a very talented developer. As a huge Batman fan, I really hope we see something about this because it's been far too long since we've had a Batman game in our hands. And there's so much lore and so much story and so many characters they can explore that I really hope they take the game in a new direction, but keep the heart and soul of what the Batman games are all about. Mystery, combat, and just awesome environments with amazing villains that actually challenge Batman. So let's hope WB Montreal is working on this and they announce something at E3. Now at number 4 we have Gears Tactics. And alright, if you've kept up with me in any capacity, you know that Gears Tactics is a game I'm looking forward to a lot. I enjoy playing XCOM a lot, and I never thought in a million years that Gears would make a game just like it. But the fit is almost perfect when you look at the style of game Gears of War is. The cover mechanic is what this type of strategy game is all about. Not to mention the war going on in Gears is a great set piece for this type of game. It will have stakes and epic battles that you'll be able to manage while you play the game. I know a lot of people might not be hyped for this game, but personally, I can't wait to see what this game has to offer. It will be a game I sink a bunch of hours into and play the entire campaign and find different ways to take out the enemy. If it's anything like XCOM, this will turn into a solid new game that Xbox can grow into something special. I hope this game is shown at length at E3, maybe not on the stage, but it can be shown later on the Xbox shows that follow the E3 conference. I'm hoping for some awesome new footage and awesome explanation how deep this game could go. And I'm almost 100% sure it's coming to Xbox, but I think it'll come to PC first, so let's keep an eye on that too. Now we move on to the top 3, which at number 3, we have Halo Infinite. Halo has been a game that a lot of people have been waiting for almost 5 years now. It's well documented that Halo 5's single player campaign was one of its worst aspects, but its multiplayer was one of its best. But ever since the E3 2018 showing of Halo Infinite, we've heard little about the next installation of Xbox's biggest franchise in history, with 343 studio boss Bonnie Ross saying this Halo is a spiritual reboot to the franchise. It's left a lot of fans wondering what exactly is happening with their favorite game of all time. We already know about the Slipspace engine, which will be the new engine behind the Halo franchise, and a lot of people found this had to be done in order for Halo to move forward in the gaming space. And much like other franchises that Xbox holds near and dear to their hearts, it seems that this game will be more open world and have some RPG elements attached to it. Not to mention, it will focus on Master Chief a lot more than it does Locke, which again is a huge plus for a lot of Halo fans. I expect to see a story trailer and maybe a little bit of gameplay footage. Either way, it's one of those games I'm very excited to see at E3, and I know for a fact a lot of people will be tuning into the Xbox conference just to see Halo and see what direction 343 is taking this historic franchise. Now we enter the top 2, and we have a couple surprises, but that's okay. At number 2, we have Marvel's Avengers, the game that was announced almost 4 years ago, and ever since then has vanished from sight. No one knows anything about the game, what characters you can play, or who's the main villain. Nothing. That is until the past 2 weeks, which has shined some light on one of the most anticipated games coming to E3. We already know Square Enix is publishing this game, and that Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are working on it. Back when it was announced, the press release said this: the Avengers project is being designed for gamers worldwide and will be packed with all of the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise. That was 4 years ago, and now people are wondering if this still holds true. Well, a leak indicated that it will be a co-op experience that involves a lot of characters and will be an action-adventure game, with maybe RPG elements tied to it, with skill trees and a bunch of other cool abilities. When you look at the breadth of characters Marvel has, they can really make this game shine and bring in a lot of cool abilities that you can have fun playing with your friends. There's a game called Marvel Heroes that was on PC that I really enjoyed. It came to console a little bit later, but that game was a Diablo-esque type MMO that really shined on the characters of Marvel. You were able to play each character, and every character had different abilities. I really loved that game, and if they take that game and make it into a huge AAA action adventure game and bring the abilities along with them with each character, like Thor's lightning or the shield for Captain America or all the cool little gadgets that Iron Man has, I really think this game can be a massive hit. But now we move on to my most anticipated game, which should come as no surprise. At number 1, we have Gears 5. One of the biggest games coming this year has to be Gears 5. This game was announced and shown last year on Xbox's E3 stage. As everyone here knows, it's one of the biggest franchises that Xbox has for their platform and my favorite game franchise in gaming. But not a lot of information is known about the game officially. We know the story picks up right after Gears of War 4, and the main protagonist is Kate Diaz, who we think is trying to uncover a lot of mystery surrounding her family and the Locust. But we also know that Gears 5 is going to take a lot of risks when it comes to the franchise. They are going for a far more open world aspect and maybe, just maybe, add a touch of RPG elements. The Coalition are the developers behind the game, and they seem very confident in the changes in direction they are taking this beloved franchise. Expect to have a huge amount of footage being shown for this game on the E3 stage, especially since the release date is rumored for this September. Either way, it's my most anticipated game coming this year and the game I look forward to the most during E3. I hope they just have a big info dump on the game, and I want to see everything they can show us because I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Coalition has changed in this game. And well, those are the games I'm most looking forward to when E3 comes around, but I want to know what you guys are most excited about. Are any of these games in your top 10? Have I left any games off the list that you are more excited about? What games are you tuning into E3 for? Do you hope there's more surprises coming? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. Any support helps the channel out more than you know. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my videos. Also follow me on Twitch. The link will be in the description. If you want to hang out and chat with me, I'm very active with my chat and always playing games. I hope to see you guys there. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.